Yeah, I did. I almost did not make it out, girl. At the last second too, I was like, "Oh."
She bumped her. I didn't kill her.
You
She
killed
bumped
Lola?
She ran right.
I did not bump into Rygo.
Where's her head?
She ran right into it.
That's what.
Oh, shit. That's too much.
The fact that Rygo said I bumped into them is
Are we
crazy.
ready to extract?
Now Rygo. Rygo, you done killed me. Rygo.
Not Rygo mimicking me.
You know what, guys? I'm gonna go make a PB&J. We'll be right back.
I'll put it in the extract.
Also, guys, if you guys are on YouTube, don't forget to like today's stream.
Hi, guys.
What's up?
Oh,
It's me, Lola Bunny.
oh wow, that's wild. Oh, that's wild.
Now Rygo. Now Rygo.
That's wild. Exposed. Nice. That was a very decent chase. I'm not mad at all. I'm not mad at it all at all. I'm dead though. Dead hard, bitch. I got you, my Jolene. Fuck you, you ass. I hope you get killed. Get shit on. Get shit on, bitch. Yeah, get shit on, cause you get shit on. Yeah. You thought you ate with that one. Yeah, you thought you ate, bitch. You thought you ate. Who's baby? Okay, I have a friend whose name is Baby Flash User. Who the fuck is that? Is there
That's
a
my alter ego.
Wait, really?
Wait, you did kind of believe it for a second? You were like, really?
Wait. Oh my. Hello? Y'all hear me? I know some of y'all are probably in ads, but I hope y'all can hear me. Or guys, I had a long day. I had a really long day. Also, can one of my mods go on YouTube? Oh, is it Siab Hanlemi? Welcome in on YouTube. Welcome in. I hope you're doing good. How are you doing? Welcome in. Also, I am multi-streaming on YouTube today. If anyone's curious. I don't know if the music's playing on YouTube. I hope it's not. But I am multi-streaming onto YouTube as well. But welcome in to welcome in. I don't know what you want me to call you, but welcome in. I'm just gonna call you CO if that works. If that works for you. Um, but yeah, we're gonna be playing some Stardew today. I hope y'all I hope y'all don't mind. I was gonna play Genshin today, but I just was like, I need something a little bit more cozy and not as frustrating. So today is gonna be a Stardew Valley day. And your girl might also just go live on TikTok as well tonight, too, just in case. But we'll see. But yeah, I hope everyone is doing good today. If you guys are on Twitch, feel free to uh like let me know how your day was. I had a really long day. Uh I was at my niece's birthday party. Both of them are they're twins, and they turned 4 recently. They had a Pokemon themed birthday party, and I have cookies to show for it, actually. I have cookies. I'm not gonna eat them all, because I know Mr. Lola's probably gonna get mad at me. These were handmade by my oldest niece. So this is a Pokeball. This is a Pokeball with the Pokemon logo on it. Um, and then this is my favorite one. I kind of don't want to eat it because it's Squirtle. I love Squirtle. Squirtle's my baby. And then here's Bulbasaur. Here's Bulbasaur. Here's Bulbasaur, by the way. And last but not least is Jigglypuff. Jigglypuff. I think my oldest niece made these cookies. I have to double check with my sister, but also I'm not gonna dox myself or Mr. Lola because, well, actually I'll use Mr. Lola as an example. I'm pretty sure he doesn't really care. Well, actually I don't want to dox him because it has his last name on it. So maybe that's but but I did make a keychain with Mr. Lola's name on it for myself, and then I put my name on. I made a keychain for him with my name on it and his last name on it. So I made that for him. So uh, and I put it on my keychain. So yeah, I'm excited. Um, Okay, see y'all on YouTube. Oh, thank you, Lemur. Thank you, thank you. Also, let me if you can type on there, Lemur, let me know if it's lagging or anything on YouTube. But let me know. Let me know. I know it can be weird sometimes. So just let me know if it's like really bad or not. So I just want to make sure it's it's not that bad. Um, I just want to make sure uh it's not that bad. Um, oh, that's cute. Isn't it cute, Lemur? Yeah, I'm so happy. Yeah. So we're gonna um we're gonna play some Stardew Valley tonight because I'm really I'm really wanting cozy vibes tonight. And then tomorrow we'll be back on the DVD grind. We'll be back on the DVD grind tomorrow at 2:30. But yeah, I'm excited. I'm excited. Um I'm hoping I'm hoping that on YouTube you guys are pretty good. Um you guys are pretty good over there, but I'm hoping um I'm hoping it's pretty good, but I don't know yet. So, I also might go live on TikTok just because I'm trying to like get a Steam key through like an agency, and I'm kind of like really nervous about it, like because there's a way for you to like go through like an agency without having to get like a thousand followers on there. So I'm gonna try to test it out tonight to see if I like it. I'm not live on there right now, but um just in case. Um, but yeah, hopefully you guys are doing well today. I'm a little tired. Today's gonna be like a little bit of a shorter stream tonight, so we'll see how things go. But I'm gonna switch scenes. Um, okay. Also, hopefully you guys can see the screen. Um, I'm gonna go live on TikTok right now just to see. Wait. Okay, I'm live on TikTok. So, hopefully you guys, um, hopefully you guys can like see. But yeah, we're live on TikTok now. Hopefully you guys can be on TikTok, but yeah. but yeah, gonna get started in some Stardew Valley. I'm gonna try to keep track of like all the chats and stuff, but it's kind of, I don't know. It's kind of it's gonna be hard, I feel. I have to be live for at least 30 minutes. Stardew Valley, too spooky for me. Well, listen. Don't get jump scared along the way. Okay. Taking too long to like load the game. I keep forgetting that like I have like almost 200 mods, and like I am kind of like really 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 scared. First chat here. Let's go. Let's go. Hmm. Why is it taking too long to load? Also, Lemur, can you hear? Damn, forgot someone beat me to it. Oh, not that. Can you hear the music on YouTube, Lemur? I need to know if you don't mind me asking. If you don't mind me asking, is there any like music playing on the YouTube side? If there is, I need to like figure out how to fix it. Also, am I lagging at all? I hope I'm not lagging. Okay. Oh my god, that's too much music. There's music playing? Wait. Frick. Okay. No lag, that's good. Wait, so the YouTube music is also playing on YouTube? The music is also playing on YouTube? Shit. Okay. Well, I'm gonna have to just play no music then. No lag? Okay, because I'm also on TikTok, so I'm kind of scared of the lag. That's why I was like asking. And I don't expect my mods to go on TikTok to mod for me. I don't think anyone's gonna be over there, so. Oh my god, there's a lot of mail. Y'all, I'm having a lot of mail in my game. Damn, they're giving me so much food and shit. What the hell? Bro. Bro. Are you serious right now? Okay. Okay. Oh my god. God damn it. Okay. Okay, I'm gonna just go to here. I want to go up here and like put my shit away. Hi Nadir. How are you? I'm from Morocco. Well, welcome in. Welcome in. So happy to have you. Let's see. Wait a minute. What is this? Okay. 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 I feel like there's a slight lag on my game. A little bit. Just a little bit. But I think it's also because, like, I'm multi-streaming onto 3 platforms that I'm kind of just like, I need to, be careful. I have so much mail, guys. Oh my god. Okay, there. Okay. Currently, it's 8:20 in game. Oh, that cow is grumpy. Hello? Why? That's interesting. Hi, Jimenez. Hold on. Hold on. I need to like close. I close this. Okay. Close that. Sorry, chat. I had to fix some things. Dang, I was really hoping that, like, I could get no music to play on stream, but, oh shit. Uh, but, YouTube was like, nah, we're gonna force music on this platform, whether you like it or not. So, I'm like, I have to figure out how to do that. Okay, let's see. Goods. Okay. Hmm. Okay, seeds. And where to put those? Wait. Wait, where would my artisan goods go? Also, let me play some lo-fi, actually. I hope it won't ding me if I do play lo-fi. Okay. What am I supposed to do here? Okay. Let me go back into my thing. Mm, Okay. Uh, Wait. Okay, I don't want to get rid of that. Oops. No. I don't even have to make one for her. Cool. Okay, I'm gonna also check to see whose birthday it is, because I'm gonna end up forgetting. Wow. So it's 3 people's birthday today, and, uh, it's 3 people's birthday today, and, um, okay, so it's Lily's birthday, Rosa's, and Michael's. Oops. I have to slay 5 of them. I kind of don't want to, because it's Demetrius that's asking. Okay. Um... Okay, so... Lily and Michael. Lily, Michael, and... Who else? I forgot. I kind of forgot. kind of forgot. Lily's, Rosa's, and Michael's. I'm assuming they're either in Eastgarb or somewhere else. So, cool. Sterling, oh my god. My husband. My husbando. Oh. I need 3 of these. Are you kidding me? I need 15 hops. Oops. Okay, and then... Yeah. And I need three coffee. Okay. That's it for now. Um, wait. Yeah, I need to check on my animals here. Oh my gosh. Okay. Ew. Okay, so I need an egg. And then I need some milk. Oh. Oops. Oh. Oh my god, I can't type today. Hmm. Okay. Wait. Yeah, I just want to make sure I said hi to y'all. Oh my god. Okay. If I should maybe like this. I don't. Hmm. Um. mm. Hi, Ryla. Also, hi everyone who else is joining TikTok as well. And I'm never on this late, but here I am. Okay, I'm gonna like gift these guys their gifts before I forget, and I'm not gonna remember who's who, but we'll see how this will turn out. I also still need to get my freaking stuff off the stuff what you call it. Um Wait. Okay, so Michael. Okay. Okay. Popsicle. Popsicle? Popsicle? Hi, Ray. Welcome in. Wait. Okay, Michael is at the escarpin. No, I don't want to fucking eat it. I don't want to eat it. I want to give it as a gift. Not the call out. Girl. Hi, Don. Welcome in on TikTok. Also, I kind of want to eat these cookies now, guys. I don't want to eat them because they're so cute, but um, I really, I really want to like eat it. I want to eat it, but I also don't want to eat it at the same time. But they're just really cute. Mm-mm. Not her leaving. That's crazy. Right, guys, I had to like respond to a couple messages because my family like messaged me. Also, so sorry if I'm like yawning so much, guys. Not her running off, girl. I swear, kids will run off for no reason. Not the what is this place, girl? Okay, it's someone else's birthday, but I don't remember who. It was like Michael, Rosa, and someone else. And I'm assuming that they're in not Ridgeside, but where else? Hmm. Okay. But like, who? Whose birthday is it? Hello? Wait a minute. Are they in Zuzu City? Are they in Zuzu City? Not Zuzu City. I really need to like know where this person is so I can give them a birthday present. Unless they're here, but I doubt it. Ooh, I'm yawning so much, chat. I'm so sorry. Okay. Who is this person that I have to give a present to? Because your girl is just like gonna lose it. Oh wait. Okay. The milky white mushroom. Okay, but Lily. Hmm. Who the heck is Lily? Who the heck is Lily? Who the heck is Lily? Because I don't remember a Lily. You know, we could just pretend that Lily doesn't exist, because I'm trying to remember this girl. Okay. I also need to donate that to the museum. Stardew is cool. I like it. You like it, Lemur? You know, it's my go-to comfort game. Very, like, relaxing, I must say. I'm still struggling to find this lily person. Cause like, what do you mean? Cause like, what do you mean? It's whatever. It's whatever. Oh, I also need to check my cave as well. Mm, wait. Okay, I was about to say, I'm like, is that something I need to pick up? But no. Oh my god. Like, I want to give Lily this freaking gift, but for some reason, Lily just doesn't want to appear in front of my face. So, I don't know. No, I don't know what I should do. Mm, wait, I put this with, um, the food. Allergies are, like, getting the best of me also, so I don't know how long I'll be on for. Okay, I'm gonna be right back, chat. I need to go to the bathroom and, like, blow my nose because my nose is watering, and I just don't want to, be, like, sniffling and stuff. I'll be back in a couple minutes, okay? What? And I'm gonna die for it?
Bruh, I. Oh.
Hello? Okay, I need one of the killers to like come in here and kick this yellow gem. Oh my gosh, let's go. Okay, I like how Marnie's the only one dancing and like cheering, and I'm like, girl, are you good? No, okay. Now is not the time to be missing. Okay, okay, come here, girl. Come here, come here, come here. Let's go closer over here to the pallets, okay? Okay, okay. Oh my god. Fuck man. Girl. You fucker. Yeah, ha ha ha. Bitch. Fuck your spirit fury.
谢谢你们让我长见识，但进入梅洛彼得堡的手续还是要好好完成的。请站到那块板子前面，我会用留影机给你们拍摄画片。
好吧，拍的好
Dang, so we're really gonna be imprisoned. That sucks. But at least it's only for 45 days, though. That's... Okay, guys, I'm back. I'm officially back. Wait. Did I miss a comment that Nindier posted? And it's not showing me? Wait. Oh, wait. Why did it translate your... Why did it translate your thing? Oh my god, I'm getting married? Hello? What the fuck? Wait a minute. I need a freaking scythe. That's crazy. Hmm? It's, babe, it's a keychain. But it was a 11. I brought 2 for you, 2 for me.
So why all 4 in here, bro?
Because I separated that on a separate plate.
Don't play with my cookies, man.
Don't play with my cookies. You're lucky I thought about you. Otherwise, I would have ate it. Don't. Mr. Lola is like, then why are my cookies in here? I'm like, girl, like, you didn't even let me finish talking. How do you spell scythe? I don't- You were trying to get what? Oh. Okay.
Thank you.
I just said you're welcome.
That
That's not gonna listen to you. Okay, then if they listen to you, why don't you stream for me then? No. Okay, then you can stream for me then. Don't no me. Mm. Um. A lot of crops. And even how some of them don't freaking like water. I say mm, oh, I need to go to my shed. Go to my shed. Also, Zay, you know how you asked me to like contact you last night after stream? I totally forgot and I fell asleep. I like knocked out heavily last night. Oh, I got the hiccups. On the wait, let me look at my calendar. Oh, wait, on the 31st of this month? Because if that's the case, I can ask Mr. Lola if we can meet on the 31st of this month, which is a Friday. It'd be fine in the evening time? Okay. Yeah, I think we should be able to. We should be able to. Because if that's the case, I could just stream in the morning, and then I can wait until Mr. Lola gets off of work. And then we can go straight there. I can ask him too. But, but yeah, that would totally be fine for me. Okay. So trying to find a hotel that accepts U-Haul. Oh, in Sacramento? Mm. Oh, yeah. Yeah, it's really bad. I can see if, like, Mr. Lola can, like, help out, too. I have about air tags to put in my cars, so I'll know if someone's stealing my cars. Yeah. 1,000%. That's actually really smart. They're all insured. I just would cry if I lost my stuff, honestly. It's so expensive to get the furniture, and we have our whole apartment in there. Yeah, that's also very valid. Like, my car, steal it, please. No, literally. Also, I need to update a command real quickly. I forgot about that. Forgot about that. I'm gonna update a lot of my commands, actually. Because a lot of my commands that I use through Mix It Up, I also is also for YouTube as well. So uh wait. Okay. Oops. Yeah, don't come to Oakland with your U-Haul, because that's asking for more theft. That's asking for more theft. Hey, not y'all telling me yuck. That's crazy. I need to stretch. My God, like, my whole body is, like, so sore right now because of me being out and about for my, like, niece's birthday party. So that would make it last 10 hours, but I think that's doable, yeah. Oh my God. Ugh, that's a lot. Okay. Mm. We can do something fun in Sacramento, yeah. For sure. What time is it? Okay, it's 7:19. Good. I'll probably do like one more day after this because like I'm really like exhausted and tired. I can come to LA in a 3-hour drive from my new city. Oh, true. Because, like, even if we don't meet up anytime soon, like, because I'll be going in San Diego, like, from, like, the 13th to the 15th, for TwitchCon. So even if you wanted to meet up then, that would be doable as well. In November. So if you wanted to do November, yeah, so if you wanted to do November, we can do November. So that way, like, you're not, like, stressed out about, like, meeting me at the end of this month. Oh my gosh, I kind of wish, okay. I kind of, I kind of wish that you moved. I kind of wish that you, like, moved down to where I lived. Because, and I just realized that you were moving also. I just, forgot that you were moving also because literally the apartment below me is literally up for rent. And I thought, like, it didn't clock to me until just, like, today. And I was like, oh my god, Zay would have, like, moved here immediately to be in Cali. Well, the rent in my apartment complex is like $17.50. But that's also fair. Yeah, that's also valid. That's very valid. That pays really well. Yeah, for sure. Yeah, like I need to go to Arizona, actually. I need to go down there for sure. Because Long Beach being only 3.5 hours, yeah. Yeah, and me and Mr. Lola can try to make our way down there too, as well. So that way we can see you guys over the weekend. Oh wait, I need to Yeah, that's true. I'll see like what we can do. Because I know Mr. Lola like works Monday through Friday as well. And he'd love to just come down there. I also like told Mr. Lola that we need to go to my sister's place. In New Mexico. Yeah. Because one of my aunts lives in Nevada, so I can definitely go over there for a drive. So we'll figure it out. If not, when we're moving, then it'll be at another time, but I'll see you eventually, yeah. Oh my gosh, this is such a grind. Being 10 hours instead of 15 is a lot closer than we were, yeah. That is 100% true. Also, I haven't been in San Francisco in such a long time either. So I'm hoping that me and Mr. Lola can go eventually. Oh yeah, I need to go to my storage. Okay. I need to know where to put this. Put this. Anaheim is only a 3-hour drive, so maybe a birthday party at Disney one day. Yes. Listen, I'm so down for that. I really want to do a Halloween bash with all the villains. Yes, that would be awesome. That would be good. Oops. Should I play Stardew? Hi, Vic, on TikTok. If I never have before, is it worth it? I'd say it's worth it, personally. I'm playing modded right now, so I'd say start off with vanilla and just work do you play on console or do you like what do you play on? Are you on PC or like console? It honestly just depends. I'd play on Switch. I'd say yeah. I'd say for sure. See if you like it. Like, are you into like other simulator games like are you into other games like Disney Dreamlight and like Palia and stuff? I do play Animal Crossing and Disney Dreamlight, but IDK about Stardew. I'd say try it to see if you like it. Um, I know it's usually like I think on all platforms it's like $14.99. And sometimes it'll go on. I don't know if it's on sale on the Switch right now, but if you do want to buy it, I definitely say give it a shot, especially if you play Disney Dreamlight and Stardew Valley on your Switch. So, uh, I'd say give it a shot if you really, really want to try it. Is it hard to play? I started playing Stardew on the Switch. Like the only thing that I feel like is harder to do on Stardew is the fishing. At least for console anyway. Um, Other than that, everything else is pretty easy. I think you might like it. Especially if you do play Stardew or and Disney Dreamlight. Thank you, love. Of course, of course. Also, if you do want to switch over to like YouTube or Twitch, I am live on those platforms as well. Um I do pay attention to chatting there more. So if you do want to switch to one of those platforms, you're more than welcome to. Um it's kind of hard to keep track of like TikTok as well. So, it like this is like my first like official stream on TikTok. Um and uh it's really it's really different for me on TikTok. So I'm definitely like it's a learning curve for me to uh to like pay attention to three chats at once. But it my usernames are the same. It's at Lola Latte. So if you want to hop over to Twitch or YouTube, Vic, um, you're more than welcome to do so. And just let me know if you just let me know it's you, so that way like I could say hi to you and stuff. Um, but yeah, you're more than welcome to tune in over there as well. Um, but yeah. Oh my god, y'all, look at me go, like trying to pay attention to like three chats at once. Who am I? Y'all, who am I? Thank you, Sierra, for the follow. I appreciate you. Thank you so much. Um, yeah, look at me go, guys. Let me see. Mm, Wait, how do I add text on like my? Oh, here you go. Mm. Okay, let me. Why did he say Ayo? How did you get this? Like, bro. I also need to check on my other animals, by the way. Oh my god. It's Gianna's birthday tomorrow. Um, if anyone could spare some time to grow wild mustards. Are you kidding me? I'm not gonna do those quests. No, absolutely not. Absolutely not. Oh my god. All my animals. Cypher! Hi, Cypher! Cypher. It's been so long. I know. I'm trying to utilize all this grass for hay. I'm not gonna cut all of it though, but hello, have you been? I've been pretty good. This is like my first like official stream on TikTok. And it's been nice actually. I've been trying to like go live here and it's been so far it's been so far it's been pretty good. How have you been though, Cypher? I feel like I haven't talked to you in so long. Start your second year of college tomorrow? Oh my god. Congrats. Well, I don't know if that should be like a congratulatory thing, but I wish you all the luck and all the fun and yeah. I wish you a lot of the luck and fun for that. Hopefully this school year isn't too hard for you. So Um, so yeah. Also, Ashley, thank you for the follow. Thank you. On TikTok. Thank you so much. I appreciate that. Thank you very much. Also, guys, I'm also live on Twitch and YouTube as well. So if you guys are watching on TikTok, you guys are more than welcome to support me on other platforms as well. This, this is like very much new to me, like just streaming on 3 platforms. So, just being here and supporting me means a lot. I appreciate you guys. Thank you. I'm trying my best to like, um, I'm trying my best to like focus on all 3 chats. But it's kind of hard, actually. I also, and then also this is like the reason why, like, I also need like a 3rd monitor because like I don't want to have to like keep looking at like my right, like on this monitor right here where like my webcam, like you guys can't see me. I had my webcam on TikTok for a little bit, but I just was like, nah, I'm gonna turn it off. But I do have my webcam on Twitch and YouTube though. So um so if you guys want webcams, if you guys want to see the webcam, feel free. But like, I wonder how, like, Mish does it. Like, Mish does a very good job about, like, keeping track of, like, multiple comments at once. And it's kind of hard, but, it's very hard, but, like, also, like, once you get used to it, it gets easier. Hey, can you refill my water for me? Huh? Can you refill my water for me, honey? Huh? Did you not hear what I said? I said, can you please refill my water for me? Please and thank you. Huh? I don't know what you said. We'll manage though. Hey, if you ever need a distraction, I'm normally streaming. Cypher. Wait, hold on. I don't know whose birthday it is today. Did I even check the calendar? I don't remember. I did. Y'all. I've been, like, drinking water nonstop, and it's been chaotic. It's like, oh, it was a chaotic day. It was, like, nice and warm. When I went out to, like, my sister's, like, so she has, like, 3 girls, and, and 2 of them are twins, so, like, it just made me so tired. It just made me feel very, very tired. So, I'm kinda just like, "Oh my god." My whole like, kids in general just make, like, my whole body exhausted. And yeah. Oh, so we are cheating again. Oh, nice of you to join, kitten. Oh my god. Uh, no. We're not cheating. Technically. Listen, it's called modded for a reason, kitten, okay? Anyways, kitten, you should be proud of me, actually. I'm live on, like, Twitch, YouTube, and TikTok. Remember when I was streaming on my janky toaster of a laptop, kitten? And look at me being live on 3 platforms. Isn't that crazy? Mods equals cheats, but cheat mods equals cheats, I fear. You leave me alone. I don't consider mods cheating. And also most of my mods are aesthetic mods. So like it's not essentially cheating if I'm using a set like I mostly have expansion and like quality of life and stuff mods. So therefore it's not necessarily cheating. Well equals not equal to. Listen, you be quiet. You leave me alone. Okay, multi-streamer. Listen, I'm trying to okay. You'd be so proud of me actually, kitten, because I'm actually multi-streaming on 3 different platforms, but also it makes me very happy to be on 3 different platforms. So I'm very excited, actually. I'm very happy. I had my webcam a little bit on TikTok, but I had my webcam up on TikTok for a little bit, and I took it down because I was like, I then took it down. I then took it down. Also, guys, thank you for liking. Oh, guys, we have 145 likes on the stream today. Thank you so much. But also, you'd be so proud of me, kitten. Okay, so on if you come over to Twitch, actually, you'll see like are you watching on mobile, Kitten? You'll see a difference actually on mobile. Also, Kitten, you'll be so proud of me because on mobile, I'm doing the dual format. I'm doing the dual format on Twitch and while multi-streaming. And then I'm also on YouTube, which I'm also vertically streaming. Um, so look at me go. Look at me go. Not you automatically doing the pussy command on Twitch. That's crazy. But you did get 84%. So y'all, look at my man. If this cow does not get out of my way, Mama, I fear you're in my way. Oh, also, I added a new channel redeem called LMU attendance. That just means that you're present. Girl, we done knew you were messy. Oh, well, hmm. Anyway, but aren't you proud of me though? Look at me go. Look at me go. Being a Miss Multi-streamer. Do you need that? You need that? Ooh, they messy for that. Right, Lemur? They are messy. Kitten is messy. Kitten is always messy. Also, oh wait. I forgot the multi-chat isn't on the screen, so you can't see what Lemur said on YouTube. You can't see what Lemur said on YouTube. I forgot I don't have it on the screen. Oh! Not you going over to YouTube, Kitten. That's crazy. Messy. Messy. Guys, do you guys... Okay, honest question. Do you guys think that I should go live on TikTok a lot more while streaming on YouTube and Twitch? Or no? Be honest. Because I feel like it would be nice. Oh. Hello? Not gonna lie. I didn't hear what you said. My brain buffered. Oh. So you hate me then? I said, do you guys think I should go live on TikTok more? Should I go live on TikTok more? Well, yes. Oh my god. Okay. But that just means I would need, like, mods on there too. Okay, okay, Kitten, be honest. Do you prefer watching on TikTok or no? Do you prefer watching on TikTok? Oh. Why am I getting all this mail? Excuse me? Why am I getting all this welcome mail? I don't understand. 1 week from today, we are holding the Stardew Valley Fair in the town square. Oh. Well, I don't really care, Lewis, so... Anyway. Anyway. Okay, so since you want me to go live on all... I like Twitch more than TikTok, but that's just because I'm a bucket for emotes. True. Sucker for emotes. You know, that's honestly valid and fair. Girl, I don't know. I was just going along with it. Your phone is just letting you know that it hates you. Wait, also Kitten, are you watching on mobile right now or no? I was gonna ask you if you were watching on mobile. Because I was gonna ask you if you liked the layout and stuff for mobile. I'm also trying to hurry up and I'm hoping to get like 1,000 to grow on TikTok. Yeah, I'm on mobile in bed. I'm lying in bed because I gotta be up tomorrow because me and my mom are gonna go to try to reorganize my room because it's a mess in here. Oh. Well, good luck with reorganizing your room, girl. But also, do you like it? Do you like the vertical layout for mobile? I like the layout. It's weird, but in my opinion, it's easier to chat and still watch. I have it set like that because of like I wanted it set to like how it was for TikTok. And because like I didn't have like I don't have access to like a stream key, so I'm using I'm using TikTok Live Studio. Which is like annoying, but okay. I was also thinking about like taking like my webcam off of like the vertical layout and just putting chat there, but um I don't know. Should I like remove the webcam on vertical and put the chat up top or no? I'm I'm asking for a friend. I'm asking. Stinky? Oh, I don't have a stinky command, kitten. Why not have this chat scroll along the top with a webcam or something so you can have both? Or is it like a layout thing and not a capture thing? It's a layout thing. So basically, like the chat, like that you're seeing on like on mobile, it's laid out like that. But you can also switch back to classic also. But if it's easier for you to watch like the way that you're watching right now, then sure. But I would have to like minimize my webcam in order for me to like I'd have to have it smaller like this and either have chat on the side or like underneath my webcam, if that makes sense. Like, does that make sense? Or I'd have to like remove the webcam altogether just to make it look better. Because like I could definitely do that for like for the cam. Um like I can definitely do that for like like horizontally, but I don't know. I feel like the vertical view is best for frequent chatting, where normal view, it's fine if you don't care. If you, I feel like the vertical view is best for frequent chatting, whereas normal view, it's, wait. Um, why is it not letting me scroll? Hello? Is best for frequent chatting, whereas normal view is fine if you don't care about seeing the stream. So more like lurkers, at least on phone, it's smaller. True. You know, okay, you're right. Maybe, maybe, mm, yeah, I think you're right. I think you're right. I think you're, I think you're right. You're right. Oops. OMG, my stomach hates me. What did you do? What did you do to make your stomach hate you? Uh, I ate food. Oh. Well, what kind of food? And how come you didn't bother sharing? Hi, Nick on YouTube. Welcome in. Country fried chicken with white gravy and loaded baked potato. A loaded baked potato? Oh. Well, maybe you should have eaten that. It was leftovers, so there was none to share. Oh, so you hate me. Got it. Got it. So you hate me. It's fine. I'd rather suffer than lose my ability to eat southern food. True. Oh, also kitten. Oh my god. So, I made some bracelets today. For me and Mr. Lola. I won't dox his, like, his name, but, like, I made a keychain for, like, me and Mr. Lola. So, like, I put his full name on, like, on my keychain, so that way, like, if I put his name on my keychain, and then, like, I put my name with his last name on his keychain, so, like, he can think about me while he's at work. And it's so cute. It's so cute. I'll have to take a picture of it so I can send it to you. Yeah, it's so cute. I'll have to take a picture and send it to you off stream. And I made it today because it was my twin niece's birthday party today, and they were like celebrating. So my sister's oldest daughter turned 6, and then her twins had turned 4, and so they did like a joint birthday party for the girls, and they were like making like friendship bracelets and like keychains, and I was like, oh, that's so cute. And so they're like, oh, like, auntie, like, you should make one. And I was like, girl, I don't even know how to do it. I had to have my brother-in-law help me like tie the knot, because I was like, my brain was not braining one time, and I was like, I can't. Be honest, did you steal all the beads and run away with them? No. Because they were like my oldest nieces, so I was like, I can't take them away from her. Wait, but like also I was thinking about doing no, wait, that actually kind of just gave me an idea though. That actually just gave me an idea, actually, kitten. So I was thinking about doing beads, like a bead stream, like to make like friendship bracelets and stuff. I was thinking about doing that, actually. And I thought that would just be really cool. I could also do like my coloring streams too, as well. I can always do those again. Is the idea that we should learn granny crafts together? Because I want to do that too. Wait! Oh my god! That would actually be a cute idea. Because I really want to do that. really want to do that for sure. Because like I also want to do like friendship bracelets and like I bet Odie can teach it. Oh my gosh, yes. I was actually gonna ask Odie and like see if they can like teach us because I know Odie does a lot of bead work. So I feel like it would be nice. Also, I need to like reposition myself on my chair. But also, I'm very excited. I'm very excited. Let's see. Also, all right, I have to like fix something on my TikTok thingy. But also, I'm very excited just to be able to do stuff. Oh, Pam? Girl? Pam is only in it for the free food. Oh my god. Do you also get that frequent urge to where you want to learn how to create things? Like, I so badly want to learn sewing so I can make my own outfits. No, no, literally, kitten. I want to make my own clothes too. And because it's like, if I know that I'm creating my own clothes, like, I can make them comfortable for myself, and I can also, like, make my own merch. Because, like, I really want to do that, actually. And, like, I also want to be able to, like, make my own merch, but also make stuff for other people where, like, if they want to commission me for something, I could be like, okay, but like I wouldn't want I don't know what I would want to charge for that though. Like I because like I want to learn how I because I used to be able to sew a lot when I was a kid, and then I like kind of like lost touch with it and I didn't keep going, and I kind of wish that I could like do it all over again. But I want to relearn sewing, and I also want to learn knitting so bad. I want to like learn I want to learn sewing so bad. Oh, Claire. Hey, at least we paid for her meal. I wonder if Rose knows how to sew by hand because I know she knows how to use a sewing machine. I'm pretty sure Rose knows how. I'm 100% positive that Rose would know. Wait, where are these two villagers at? That's my question. Where are these two villagers? She owns it. She has a screenplay. Oh my god. So we're hunting. Well, Rose is probably busy with her new man. Well, I don't know if okay. Well, I shouldn't say new man because well, I think they've just been like getting to know each other is what I should say. Wait, where did you get that cat in the hat emote? Wait, is that a limited time like Twitch global emote or what? 'Cause that's cute. But yeah, Rose and this guy have been talking and they're so cute together. IDK, it was either a hype train or a Twitch drop or something. Oh. Okay. Also, what time is it? Oh, it's like 8:18. Okay. I did say I was gonna do one more day. Okay, but where are these people? That's my question. Where are these villagers? Also, guys, I'm gonna be playing Amanda tomorrow on stream. I haven't played her since the tournament, and before the tournament, I haven't played her since the Masquerade event, which is kind of like scary for me because I don't really play any killer outside of Trapper and Doctor. And if I do play a killer that's outside of those two, it's usually like Coal Merchant or like Carmina. Girl, not you buying more nail polish. How much do you have now? Girl, not you buying more nail polish when you have like a whole ass collection already. Nikki, but you can't blame me. It's the anniversary collection. Girl. Okay, but where are these people? I don't get it. I'm trying to find these two people that like it's their birthday today and I don't know where the fuck y'all are. Also, is Marnie working today? Damn it. Marnie's not working today. How rude. That sucks. Oh. Okay. I think I'm gonna call it a night here. I think I'm gonna call it a night here. Okay. I think that is it for me for today. I'm gonna go ahead and end on TikTok. TikTok, thank you for tuning in and thank you for the people who came in today on TikTok. I do appreciate you guys so much. Thank you, thank you. Also, thank you to the people who followed on TikTok and all the likes. I appreciate it. Thank you very much. I appreciate you. And I will, if you guys want to come over on Twitch, I am live on Twitch and YouTube as well. So please feel free to come over uh on Twitch and or YouTube. Okay. My TikTok. Okay. I ended on TikTok. So uh guys, look at us. Look at us go. Oh, that's crazy, kitten. That's actually wild that you put Trapper's Pussy. That's actually wild of you. Um, to do, actually. So, anyway. Uh, oh. So, let me actually, don't act like you wouldn't. Mm, I probably wouldn't, but that's just me though. Anyway, um, oh, is that a side eye emote kitten? Oh, that's just a frog. Never mind. But also, hold on. Wait. Da, da, da. Da, da, da. Okay, wait. Hold up. Uh, uh, uh. Wait. No, that's the wrong one. Hold on, guys. I'm fixing something. I'm fixing something. Wait, I need to test something. Okay, there you go. There you go. I had to just test something. Um, I just had Test that. Okay. I'm back. How are you, bestie? I'm doing good, my elixir. Thank you for asking. Okay. I'm trying to figure out why my I'm trying to figure out why my music was playing on YouTube when it shouldn't have. And so I have to figure that out. Um, I have to figure that out essentially. And I'm kind of frustrated because it shouldn't be playing music. And so if I were to play music, it would have to be lo-fi. So so that's why I'm not playing like my usual music on stream. Um but we can listen to lo-fi actually. Hold on. We can listen to lo-fi. Um but I am going to be ending soon. So I do appreciate you guys for being here. Um I don't know if can I like multi-stream again? Like tomorrow or like the next couple of days or what? Because like it's up to y'all. Like I want to be able to like multi-stream and stuff for y'all, but I don't know if it's like worth like multi-streaming, if that makes sense. It's like I want to be able to like multi-stream, but at the same time it's kind of like I don't know. But I do appreciate you guys for being here, like supporting me. I know like I started like streaming today like a little bit later than normal because your girl was at a birthday party and I really didn't want to go to like the okay. I let's just say I didn't want to go out because your girl just wanted to be at home. But I went because it was for my nieces and I just was like, I'll um just go. I'll just go because why not? Also it's saying that I have like drop frames, but I don't know if it's true. So, I don't know. I don't know if it's true. I don't know if I'm lagging, but um but I think if I do multi-stream, it'll probably be on it'll probably just be on TikTok and yeah, it'll probably just be on TikTok and on Twitch if I do multi-stream again. So, um who's online right now? Who that I can raid? Who is online for me to raid? Uh let's see. There's a lot of Bessies on right now. Um maybe Portions has been on this whole y'all. Portions has been on for over an hour and I didn't even get a notification for her. But it's okay because we're gonna go rate her anyway. If you guys are watching on YouTube, we are gonna rate out on Twitch. So if you guys want to come on over, feel free to come on over to the Twitch side because we will be rating out to our bestie Portions who's been streaming for over an hour and normally I have her open. Um Normally I have her up on my side, but yeah, we're gonna go raid Portions. Um and we're gonna show some love to Portions. Also, you don't need to see any frame loss. Also, not you ban blocking or reporting me. That's kind of crazy, kitten. Wow. That's crazy. Also, here are the raid messages, guys. If you guys are not subbed, you can copy and paste the first one. if you are subbed, you can copy any of the raid messages that have my emotes on them. So if you're not subbed, just copy and paste the first one. And oops, and we're gonna go raid Fortune for Foxes. Who's normally playing DBD, but right now she's doing a collab with two people, two other people, Reese and someone else. That's crazy. That is not a part of the raid message, kitten. Anyways, I will see you guys on Sunday, tomorrow. And yeah, I will see you guys later. I hope you guys have an amazing night. I will see you guys later, and I hope you guys get some good sleep, and I will see you guys tomorrow for some DVD, okay? Bye!